Okay, hi guys, how's it going? I'm going to do a comparison video between World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2. So, let's get this started off with character creation. Actually, a little background information on me before we start this review of the two games. I have been playing World of Warcraft for many years, and I have, I think I started around vanilla pre Burning Crusade, so I've had a lot of experience with World of Warcraft, and I have a max level character, so I can access all of the content. Also, I have a not maxed level character in Guild Wars. I think my highest is in his 20s, so I have not experienced full game content, but I have a friend that has. So, anyways, so let's get to character creation in World of Warcraft. So the character creation is very simple. It's very not great, not good at all. So there are a few different classes. There are actually a lot of different classes that you can choose from, and there are also a lot of different races that you can choose from. There are a lot more races in World of Warcraft than there are in Guild Wars 2. And also World of Warcraft is split up into two factions, and Guild Wars 2 does not have any like Horde or Alliance, anything like that. It's just a few different races, and they all team up to go against different servers. So so let's say you want to make a goblin. Goblins are a part of the horde, and you just want to be a rogue. So I'll do that. So you'll get to choose between several different skin colors, several different face options. Not very many face options actually. A few different hairstyles. A lot of different hairstyles. Yeah, definitely. Hairstyles are pretty good. Um, you get to have a few different options for hair color. It's not there aren't that many options, and then you get to choose your ear size and shape. But say you want to be a night elf, a female night elf, they will be able to choose their markings, which I think is pretty cool. You can see how their little markings are changing colors. And do they change? Yeah, they change color when your hair changes color, so they match your hair color, which I think is pretty cool. Also, for undead, you get your features. Because you're an undead, you get your to mess around with your jaw and face parts, which I think is actually pretty cool. And anything with Worgen, just facial hair. Oh yeah, there's also facial hair that you get to mess around with too, in most races. So the character creation in World of Warcraft is not very good at all. If you're an Orc warrior, you're gonna look pretty much exactly the same as another Orc warrior. There's not a lot of uh, there's not a lot of ways to make your character look unique. Fortunately, they uploaded a new little patch thing a while back called transmogrification, which makes you be able to change the look of your armor, which definitely makes you able to have a really cool looking character and have different looking character than everyone else, because it used to be that like if you were a max level character you would look almost exactly the same as another max level character if you were the same class and you had the same gear. So that was very annoying, and it's good that they changed that. So on to Guild Wars. So unfortunately guys, I have used up all of my character slots in Guild Wars, so I can actually show you guys the character creation little scene thing. But I'll just kind of give an explanation of it. It is really really good. Uh, you get to decide pretty much everything. You know, the character creation is very dynamic. You get your own little story thing, which you get to change around, which is a really cool addition to the MMO formula, and it's just a lot better than World of Warcraft. I haven't I don't know if there's anything like World of Warcraft's transmogrification in Guild Wars 2, but if there isn't, that definitely needs to be added because that is really fun to mess around with. So it's really good. You get to have your own little character story, which will make you different than everyone else. Like, you're gonna have a very different story than another rogue or whatever. If you're a rogue, well, I guess they're not called rogues; they're called thieves. But everyone has, well, mostly everyone has a different story, and you can make it just whatever you want, really. Just actually your own character, and you're like really nothing like any other character. You're very unique in this game, and I think the character creation is really good, and it completely obliterates World of Warcraft's really, really awesome, awful character creation. So, on to the next subject. Okay, so for the next subject of this video, we're going to do leveling. One of World of Warcraft's main ways to level is by questing. Questing, there isn't really anything like questing in Guild Wars. Um, you don't really go to talk to someone, they have like a little exclamation mark above their head, and you go and talk to them. And they give you a quest to say, do this, and come back to me, and you'll get a reward. Guild Wars kind of has something like that, but you can choose really not to talk to the person, and you get the reward without having to talk to them, and it feels less grindy. In Warcraft, the quests, well, there are a lot of different types of quests. There are kill quests, just going around killing random mobs, and it tells you what kind of creature the person wants you to kill, and they usually have some sort of backstory behind all these quests. Like, oh, kill these guys because they're, killing the people in their town, or they're killing the livestock. And they also have gathering quests where you get items, and you get a certain amount of these items, and you bring the items back to the quest giver, and you turn the quest in. Easy as that. Usually there are like enemies in your way that you have to kill that bother you, when you're trying to grab these items, but they're usually pretty fast and pretty easy. We're also kind of a mix between the two, which are pretty much kill quests, but you have to get a certain loot from the monsters, and you have to get this certain loot so many times, and then you have to bring the quest back. You have to bring the loot back that you got from the certain mobs, and then turn that in. One of the main examples for this is like, go kill 7 boars and bring back their meat. It's usually as simple as that, but there is also usually some backstory like, oh, our town's running low on food. If you go kill these boars, I can cook them up. I can cook up their meat, and I can give them to the townspeople, and you'll be our hero. And you get some experience points, and you get an item that matches your class and talent specialization. So uh, there are also sorry about that. There are also escort quests where you escort the quest giver or someone or the person that the quest giver says to escort to a certain location, and usually you have to fight off waves of enemies because it would be really boring, if it if you just like escort them somewhere without having to deal with any foes. And those there aren't a lot of those. Probably the most common quests in World of Warcraft are just go kill a certain amount of creatures and come back to me, and go gather this, and go kill these creatures and get their meat, you know stuff like that. Those are the main quests, the common quests, and you'll run into those very often, and they get very boring very fast. So questing now pretty boring, but it gets you pretty decent gear, and it also gets you a lot of experience. It's probably one of the best ways to get experience in the game so far. Next way of leveling is dungeoning. So when you do a few quests and you get your character to level 15, you'll be able to do dungeons. Unfortunately, I'm only level 13 on this character, so I'm not able to do dungeons yet. So, anyways, when you get to level 15, you get a little option here in this little action bar that will allow you to queue up for a dungeon. Dungeons give a lot of XP at the low levels and you also get a lot of really good loot from dungeons. So they're one of the best ways to level in the game, and they're also probably the best gear in the game besides raids. So dungeons can be very fun. You do dungeons with other players, and they require teamwork to be successful, and they're just a lot of fun. They're a lot better than questing, in my opinion. I don't know why anyone would quest, um, higher than level 15 unless they're DPS. And because as I've said before, DPS have horrible queues. It takes so long to get into an instance as a DPS, and questing is a lot faster. But if you're a tank or a healer, sometimes uh, you get very fast queues, and you get to go into the dungeon very quickly. So dungeoning is a very good source for XP, and it's also really fun and gives you very good gear. So let's go over to Guild Wars. I think that covers a lot of the ways to level in World of Warcraft. There's also PvP, but I'm probably going to go over that in a different section because PvP doesn't get you nearly as much experience as the other two that I've listed. Okay, so now we're gonna go over to Guild Wars, and I'll show you some awesome stuff, some awesome ways to level in Guild Wars. So, um, from what I've seen, you don't get into dungeons in Guild Wars until around level 30, and so that's kind of disappointing. I really miss doing dungeons. You know, dungeons are really fun in World of Warcraft, and you can't really do them that quick in Guild Wars. So I think leveling in World of Warcraft is pretty fun. Guild Wars leveling is still pretty fun, but I just really miss leveling through dungeoning. You know, get getting to talk with other people and working together with other people is very fun, and you don't really get to experience that as much in Guild Wars, at least through dungeoning. But Guild Wars has a lot of types of leveling, also that World of Warcraft does not. One of these includes random events. Random events just pop up throughout the world. You're just going around doing a few missions, and boom, you are in a random event, and you have to do something with other people, and you're gonna get lots of XP and items from it. So I am actually in one. I just logged in and I got in one, so I'm pretty lucky. So I'm gonna get a lot of XP from this one. So pretty much there are a lot of different types of random events. Some of them are like, okay, defend this location and you'll get rewarded and shit. And there are other ones where you're like, go kill this guy because he's really mean and you gotta go kill him. And, stuff like that. And they're also like gathering ones, so they're kind of boring. They get a little boring after a while. But the fact that you're doing it with others and you get a lot of rewards from it, and they're usually not terribly easy, makes it a lot more fun. And it's something that World of Warcraft does not currently have. So, another way of leveling in Guild Wars is through doing PvE, or should I say World versus World. World versus World is pretty much gathering up with the people in your specific world that you choose when you create your character and your account, and you fight off other worlds. It's really fun. It's something that World of Warcraft kind of has, but holy shit, we're getting our asses kicked in this one. But yeah, it's pretty disorganized. I don't really like it that much. I think it's kind of stupid in my opinion. I mean, it's a good idea, but it doesn't really work as well, in my opinion, as it should. but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people like it, and you get a lot of XP from it. I just personally don't like it that much. I think it's really boring, and it's very disorganized. Uh, it's pretty much just like, people going in and just like completely overwhelming the place, and then just kind of like, it's pretty much just like a Zerg rush. There isn't really a whole lot of skill in it. People just running in with a huge group and just beating the shit out of the people, and then going to another tower or whatever and beating the shit out of people there. And it's just kind of disorganized, and I haven't done many matches in it honestly, so I am not really terribly experienced in it. But from what I've seen, it's not as fun as it could be at the moment. So I think over time it'll get a lot better, and I definitely suggest it. Um, it's just not really my thing at the moment. Maybe if I play a bit more, I'll be able to maybe understand more about it, and I will be able to enjoy it more. And maybe I'll do another review or post a comment or edit the video or something. But right now, I think it's kind of boring, and I just don't do it that much. So that does give a lot of XP. And so another way of leveling in Guild Wars is completing little hearts like this. When you first start the game, you're going to talk to someone with they're usually little scope kind of things on your map. And I'm not seeing one right now, unfortunately. But you'll just see little icons that look like scopes, and you'll go talk to that person, and they will show you a few hearts like that are not colored in with yellow. So this guy over here pretty much would tell you to just do something. There would be like a little interface icon over here, and it would pretty much just tell, oh, go kill these guys or go bring me this stuff, and just do this stuff for me because I'm too lazy to do it myself. And you have to go do that thing, and then you come back to them and you get to buy some stuff from them. So that is some good XP. It's pretty much just like questing in World of Warcraft, except you don't actually have to talk to anyone really. I think it's pretty fun. They don't tell you to like kill 10 boars and gather their meat. It's like a bar instead of like something out of 10. So it feels less grindy, and I think it's more fun than questing, and it's pretty much just the same thing as questing really. Except you get to choose if you want to kill things or gather things or you know do whatever depending on the quest uh, that's available. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty much just like WoW questing. That's really how I'm leveling up right now. I'm just doing those and then also doing random events too, and you get a lot of gear. So when you complete these little heart things on your map, you get currency called karma, and you spend karma points on the vendors with little hearts above them, the guys that would give you the quest or the little mission kind of thing. And you go talk to them. You can sell stuff. I don't think they allow you to repair your stuff with them, but they just sell stuff. Like if you're at a farm, sometimes they'll sell farming equipment. If you're like near a blacksmith, they might sell weapons or whatever. And if you're like doing it for a hunter or a huntsman or something like that, they might give you some hunting equipment or a bow and arrow or a gun or something like that. So I think it's pretty fun. It gives you a lot of XP and gear, and it gets boring after a while. But there's so many ways to level in Guild Wars that you can do a bit of everything to make it, not as boring to level up. So on to the next way to level up in Guild Wars. Um, if there is one, I don't know. There are a lot of ways to level up in Guild Wars. there's also PvP, which you can do, but I'll go over PvP later, which might be my last thing that I'll go over in this video. I'll probably make another video, and I'll go over other things in that video, other comparisons. And I might do other comparison videos like WoW versus RuneScape, or RuneScape versus blah blah blah, or, you know, whatever. So, I guess I can go over PvP right now. So I guess I'll just stay on this character. You guys probably don't mind too much, but actually I'm gonna go over to a World of Warcraft character, and I'm going to do some PvP on that, so I can show you a taste of the PvP in WoW. Okay, so I logged on to my level 87 Blood Elf Hunter, and I'm just gonna do some PvP on this guy. So once you get to level 10, you can start doing PvP in World of Warcraft. So let's get started. So you just go into your little PvP tab, you press H, and you go over to join battle, and you are in the PvP queue. And usually it does not take very long. See, boom, just got it. So let's see. Okay, I got Strand of the Ancients. This is a very common battleground, and I don't like it at all. But it gives good honor, so I'm gonna do it anyways. So PvP in World of Warcraft is based off of a few things. It's based off of your skill level and your gear. If you play World of Warcraft for a while, you're probably going to be pretty good at it. But it takes a while to get gear in this game, and uh, your skill level and your well, skill level pretty much isn't enough to win a battle for you in World of Warcraft. You're also going to need to grind out gear. In order to do that, it'll take a little bit of your time, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Your gear looks pretty cool when you get good gear, and you also get to beat up on players with low level gear. So World of Warcraft isn't dependent on skill as much as Guild Wars is, but it's still pretty damn skill dependent. If you're a bad person with good gear, you're still gonna get your ass whooped. So let's just start this off. I'm not gonna really be trying too hard because it's kind of hard to play the game and talk at the same time. I've kind of learned that. But okay. And I'm getting a late start. Shit. And I don't have my PvP pet. Oh, I do. Well, one of them. So I'm doing survival hunter right now. So okay, that guy's in camouflage, so I can't attack him. Okay, so gonna try and kill this guy. So for this battleground, you're kind of just wanting to destroy these little demolishers, depending on which side you got on. And okay. And yeah, now I'm gonna get my ass kicked because I kind of got stuck. And anyways, so yeah, and this will give me some more time to talk. I guess I'm gonna try and kill myself so I can talk more about the game. So in this one, you're pretty much just trying to defend. If you're on the defending side, you're defending your chamber of ancient relics, so that your opponent can't get in there. And if they do, you lose. And it does look like we're actually doing pretty well so far. Unless that guy's being sarcastic, but I actually do think we are doing pretty good. Because none of the gates have been broken, so we're actually doing good. And there we go. So where is it? Oh, shit. Wow. Didn't even get close to dying. Okay. Oh well. So you're just gonna mow it down. Okay, it's dead, so it can't attack any more gates. Gonna silence this guy. Unfortunately, he's a lot more geared than I am, so he's probably gonna kill me. Okay. And I don't have my PvP trinket with me. Also, not good. This is what I get for using PvE gear. It's a little bit annoying. Fortunately, I have some heals with me, so we're gonna probably take this guy down. So a lot of the game, a lot of PvP is also dependent on whether you have PvE or PvP gear on. PvP is player versus player, and you get PvP gear through doing battlegrounds and arenas. I won't go over arenas in this video. I might in some other video. We'll see, because I haven't really done a lot of arenas, so I'm not, terribly good at them. Okay. Yeah, feign death is annoying as hell. Anyways, that guy is the heal. Okay, I'll just finish this guy off, then I'll keep on talking. Or he'll finish me off. I don't really care. Okay. Here we go. Anyways, um, so yeah, a lot of WoW PvP in general is dependent on your gear, whether you have good gear or bad gear. If you have bad gear and you're a skilled player, you're gonna do okay. If you have good gear and you are a very skilled player, you're gonna do very well. It also depends a lot if you know your class well. I haven't done a lot of PvP on my hunter. I'm more of a PvP kind of guy, but so I don't know my class as well as I should for doing PvP. But I just wanted to put this video out with some PvP, and he is fairly geared and pretty high level for this bracket, so I figured why might as well. So I guess we should go over Guild Wars PvP system as well. I'll talk a little bit about Guild Wars PvP system right now. So pretty much, it's a lot more dependent on skill rather than gear, since everyone starts off with the same gear. I know, as much as I know, you don't actually get better gear in PvP. I could be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong, because this will be very embarrassing if I am. But it's all dependent on if you know your class, if you and if you've played a while, if you're actually just, reasonably skilled with your class, you'll do fine. It also depends on what build you are. If you can be a tanky build, you can be more of a damage build, like a glass cannon. You do a ton of damage, but you die really quick. You can do healing builds, stuff like that. And one of the interesting things in Guild Wars is that any class can do any type of role. It's not restrictive like if you're in WoW. If you're a rogue, you can only be DPS. You can't tank. You can't heal or anything like that. And we'll end this demolisher. And in Guild Wars, there's nothing like that. Any class can do any role, and I think that's really fun. It's a really good idea as well. But I don't know, the idea of like a rogue or a thief or whatever, actually healing is kind of weird to me, I think. But it's still a pretty cool idea, and I think it's WoW is pretty restrictive with that kind of thing. If you're a DPS, you can only do DPS, and there's no way of getting out of it. I just kind of feel iffy whenever I'm playing a DPS because I know that I'm not going to be able to heal or tank or anything like that. And I restrict myself in a tight little spot where I can't do anything else but DPS. And if I'm in a tanky mood, I can't play that class, even if I like how that class plays. So it's very restrictive, but it makes more sense to me. So, in conclusion for PvP, I think that there's nothing really to look forward to in Guild Wars PvP, which is one of my main concerns. And World of Warcraft's PvP, I can always look forward to, better and cooler looking gear and, having a better character, because I have better gear. And with Guild Wars, I can't really look forward to that. I know it has more, skill required, but just if I'm not getting better gear, or if I'm not getting anything out of it, then it's kind of pointless. to do that thing. And I just kind of wish they put in some kind of reward. I don't know, I could be wrong. There could be a pretty damn good reward, and I'm just not knowing it. Like I said before, I have not played endgame content yet. From what I've been told from my friend, there isn't really a lot of, actual reward from doing PvP. So that's kind of a problem with me. So, having a game required more about skill has its ups and downs. And I wish it didn't, because I really like games that don't focus completely on gear, like, RuneScape. Warcraft focuses on gear a lot, but I also like looking forward to better pieces of gear, because I'll do better in PvP when I have that gear. And it just seems like I'm achieving something, instead of in Guild Wars, just doing that thing because it's fun. I'm not really gonna get anything out of it. I don't know. It's my point of view. Definitely don't have the same point of view as me. That's fine. But I just like looking forward to something in my MMOs, and gear is something that I look forward to. I mean, you get better, your gear scales in PvP. I mean PvE. So it just seems like it should also scale in PvE. In PvE, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. You get better gear, you get more dungeons to do, and all that good stuff. In PvP, it's like, well, you don't really have anything to look forward to if you don't get more gear. So it's just a complaint of mine. I didn't wish I had that complaint, but I do. Anyways, so I'm getting kind of. This is a pretty long video now, unfortunately. So I guess I'll just finish it off with my conclusion and my comparison. What I think is a better game. I don't really know which one's a better game in my opinion. They're both very good games. They both have their ups and downs. I think that World of Warcraft has maybe a little bit more fun PvE because of the rewards that you get, and from what I've seen, Guild Wars doesn't really have any actual raiding. Like there isn't like huge 40-man raids or anything like that, and I kind of miss that when I play uh, Guild Wars 2. That's just a complaint of mine. I think raiding is a very, very fun part of World of Warcraft, and if Guild Wars doesn't really have raiding, it's just a little bit annoying. And I kind of wish they would implement something like raiding, and they probably will. I also like the ability to do dungeons at a really low level, and but probably the grind from 1 to 15 is probably the most boring part in World of Warcraft, and if you can get through that, you'll definitely really enjoy the game. For Guild Wars, there aren't really many low level dungeons at all. I guess you start doing them at level 30. The dungeons aren't really the same. I I've heard that there aren't really roles in Guild Wars 2 because, like I said, anyone could tank and anyone can DPS and heal, and there isn't really a set healer or a set tank or anything like that, which is a little weird since I played WoW so much and I'm so used to that. But that doesn't mean it's bad. I actually think it's pretty interesting. Also, the low level leveling in Guild Wars is actually really fun. You don't really feel the grind as much in low levels. And WoW, you really feel a grind. It's really annoying. So many kill this, collect that, do that. Talk to this guy, go help this guy out with something. It's just like, I don't want to. I've done this so many times before. It's really boring. Please don't make me do it. And Guild Wars, you don't really ever get that feeling, which I really like. It's really different than WoW, and I think it's a very positive change. I also think that the random events, or whatever they're called, I think I called them random events earlier. Not sure if that's right, but those are really fun. You get good gear and experience from that, and it definitely is a good way to bring the community together. Very fun. I think WoW still beats it with their raiding and dungeons. But let's go over PvP. So PvP, I'm kind of inconclusive about. Warcraft has it's more about gear and actual player skill. Guild Wars is actually completely focused on player skill. So if you want a game that's more about the skill, not really the gear, then I would go for Guild Wars if you're really into PvP. If you like working forward to something like having better gear and you like it when you go up against a really low geared foe and you're really geared and you just get to smash their face in. You also like having a challenge when you go up against a high level foe with good gear and is actually a skilled player. Then I would suggest going for WoW. So WoW has been out for a while, and unfortunately the graphics aren't as good as Guild Wars 2, but that comes with some upsides because WoW is also a lot smoother than Guild Wars 2. I don't experience nearly as much lag as I do when I play WoW, so that's also good, even when playing on high settings. But I also have a very impressive computer. um, anyways, so WoW does have a subscription fee. You have to pay 15 bucks a month along with the actual game. So I know a lot of people that don't like that, even though 15 bucks a month really isn't a lot. Some people, think it is, believe it is, and they don't want to have to pay 15 bucks a month for an MMO, which I completely understand. Even though 15 bucks a month isn't really a lot, it can still be a pain to have to pay that, and I do understand that. So if you don't like subscription fees, I would suggest going with Guild Wars. Fortunately, Guild Wars is a very new game with great graphics, and it requires a very good computer. So if you don't have a good computer, you're not going to be able to play Guild Wars. At least not very smoothly at all. So if you don't have a good computer and you don't really mind the 15 bucks a month, I would go with WoW. So that's kind of my Guild Wars versus WoW. I don't know which game's better. They're both very good games, and they're both very different. They both have their pros and cons, and hope this video will help you decide which one you want to play, which is why you're here. Thank you guys for watching, and hope this helps.